Yo. So at this point I've been working on this channel for some time, posting a fair amount of videos and trails, but today I wanted to try something new. It's hard to capture all that happens on a ride through the lens of a GoPro, and I'm all about making the day of shooting as easy as possible so I can just ride. So today I decided to give you a bit of voiceover after the fact. The trail here is called Two Turntables and a Microwave, and I'm following my buddy Jason, aka JG, aka the Flying Kiwi. I knew Jay was going to drop me quick despite this being his first time here. And this is one of my favorite trails here at Sandy Ridge, so I've ridden it a fair amount. We were just getting back from our epic Whistler and Bellingham road trip, and I was feeling pretty stoked to be able to sneak this ride in before he had to fly back to SoCal. Oftentimes, I'll watch videos of other people on YouTube sending their favorite trails or features, and it looks so effortless. Sometimes even when I watch my own footage, where I hit stuff that I personally find challenging, it looks so easy. Like the TNT line later in this video. We'll get to that in a bit, but for now I just wanted to include some background and stories for this particular ride. And in the off chance you've seen my videos before, and wonder why I'm suddenly getting all chatty Cathy, now you know.
By the way, you know, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Okay, so Jay's out of sight now, but I'm gonna run through this whole trail because 2 turns is just too good to skip.
You just drop in and just smack the lip, whoop-ah, drop down, snap, ah! And then after that, you just drop in, just ride the barrel and get pitted, so pitted like that.
It's quite a bit chunkier than it looks on camera, especially when you're at speed.
It's chunk!
And if you can avoid the brakes, more flow and some natural doubles kind of open up on the way down. The mix of speed and chunk make this a really good trail to test your suspension setup.
Fun, yeah?
Hell yeah, it is.
Oh shit!
The video didn't really pick it up, but Jay landed directly on a rock, and you could hear it hit the rim.
That big rock in your landing, huh?
Yeah, dude. I picked it back up in the air and I'm like, no shooting over the rock.
Luckily, no damage, and we were on our way.
This is the epic jump line here. It's called Johnny Royale.
Yeah.
So we can either do this and head down slow and look at some of the jumps, hit the bottom. This kind of drops us out, like almost at the parking lot.
Okay.
You know, we can, and there's ways to session and stuff. Or we can keep going on hide and seek, which is a little more like this, and then pop out and do the other jump line, TNT.
Okay.
Which is a little more manageable.
Okay.
This one's got some pretty big hits on it.
we decided to hit lower hide and seek and come back to Johnny later in the day. I'm leading because it's easy to miss the cut over to TNT. In case you haven't figured it out by now, we're at the Sandy Ridge Trail System in Brightwood, Oregon, just at the base of Mount Hood. This section of trail was recently rebuilt within the last few months by the NWTA, or the Northwest Trail Alliance. The coolest thing about this trail is the wide range of skills who can enjoy it. This is definitely one of my go-tos when I ride with my daughter. That being said, you can probably tell from my Huffin and Puffin that it's quite a workout. Hardly any pedaling, but constant pumping and jumping. Here's that cutoff I was talking about. At this point in the ride, we were feeling properly warmed up, ready to hit some jumps.
Put our bikes, we'll look at these real quick. Yeah, just set them here, it's fine.
Before today, I'd say I'd cleared about 90% of the jumps on TNT, but I hadn't yet put a full run together. I towed Jason in on the first attempt to show him these first couple jumps.
I don't think I'm gonna hit the third one, but we'll see.
Side note, I saw Carson Storch here a few weeks ago coaching some of the local Groms, so it was pretty cool to see. One of the few jumps I hadn't cleared yet was this third one.
Did you get the third one? Was it scary?
No, it wasn't scary, but the boom was way looser than I thought. So I just like leaned it over, and then I was right on the top, and I hit a little back brake, and the back went right over the top outside.
Oh god! Look at your dust cloud. I thought about hitting it. I looked at it. I'm like, should I hit it? And then last, I was like, nah.
A low and fast speed jump immediately into a left-hand corner. That usually is either super slick when it's wet or super loose, kind of like today, and blown out in the corners.
That was sick though.
After a few run-ins and failed attempts, I finally decided to send it.
Are you guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
And even though it's one of the small jumps on this whole line, it literally linked everything together for me, and it made the rest of the run super smooth. Well, except for that case right there. I had already learned this 6-pack a while ago, but this set is so much fun, and it's one of the main things I look forward to most when I think about going to the zone. Overall, so stoked to have cleared this top to bottom. After you. Oh shit. This trail is called Flow Motion, another blue flow trail. Flow Motion is sort of similar to lower hide and seek, but maybe a little tighter berms and less jumps. Still fun. I feel like it maybe gets ridden less too, probably because it starts with a climb. I don't know. Anyways, it's definitely worth checking out for the little bit of extra effort. It also drops you back in a convenient spot to cut over to Johnny. Yeah. We can session this a few times if you want. So here we are, Johnny Royale. We sessioned a bit in the big moon booter section, and I actually hit that big moon booter for the first time on this day. Probably because I was still buzzing off that Whistler juice. That lip seemed a little bit less intimidating. It wasn't the cleanest attempt, and I didn't capture it on camera. I got a pretty good sequence of Jay hitting it here though. I'm going to skip forward to the bottom section through this goalpost feature, just because I rolled or cased most of the middle section anyways, so... if you like this style video, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. And hope you enjoyed. Thanks.